Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us over lunchtime today for our third online workshop, Valuing Your Natural Capital, hosted by Perth NRM and the Shire of Mundaring, with funding support from the WA State NRM program. My name is Bonnie Jupp, and I work in the Sustainable Agriculture team here at Perth NRM. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands we are all zooming in from today, and pay our respects to the cultural elders of the past, present, and emerging, and acknowledging their spiritual connection to country. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, you can pop them in the chat box, or in the Q&A box down the bottom of the screen, and we will go through the questions at the end of the session. And we're very pleased to have Mary Ann Clunies-Ross, also known as Mez, as she's mostly known as, joining us today. Mez is the manager of Perth NRM's Measuring On-Farm Natural Capital program and has a background in ecology, has worked closely with farmers throughout the state across different land management practices. So we're stoked to be sharing the ins and outs of our natural capital project with you today. So with that, take it away, Mez.
Thanks, Bonnie, for the introduction. My name's Mez and I'm the Program Manager for Natural Capital at Perth NRM. For the next few minutes, I've been asked to talk about our Natural Capital Accounting project, specifically measuring on-farm natural capital. This is a new emerging area internationally and nationally, and we're lucky to be the first natural capital accounting project in WA. So what do you consider to be natural capital? Well, natural capital is basically the stock of renewable and non-renewable resources, things such as plants, animals, water, soil, minerals, and I guess the benefit that these provide to people. And natural capital accounting really is a standardised set of concepts developed by and methods developed by the UNCR, which is the United Nations endorsed system of environmental economic accounting, which really wants to help quantify these resources and estimate how they contribute to the economy and society as a whole. And farm scale natural capital accounts are a set of really ground level accounts that are prepared specifically at a farm or enterprise scale. Now, this is an illustrated view of natural capital in agriculture, courtesy of our project partners, Integrated Futures. It really includes our productive or intensely managed areas such as orchards, vineyards, croplands, pasture lands, but also other aspects of natural capital such as remnant vegetation, tree lots, critical habitat for threatened species. Traditional accounts generally include livestock, crops, infrastructure, fences, etc., but they really do miss a whole heap from this picture, such as the ecological assets. And as you can see, there's a huge range of benefits which are not being captured, starting with goods and services for private benefit. These include the following. There's also quite a variety of goods for public or community benefit. And there's also some joint benefits as well. And there may be some disbenefits too. At a farm level, we look at how our farm management practices such as no-till, shelter belts, mixed cover crops, rotational grazing, etc., really influence the quality and value of our natural assets and therefore our farm performance. And natural capital can change over time depending on a variety of factors such as rainfall, but it will always have an effect on your farm performance, particularly the farm's productivity, profitability, and environmental performance. The stock and condition of natural capital in our landscape also underpins our food security. And farmer management, land stewardship of natural capital is really integral to the productive capacity of the farmland. And globally, we know that our farming systems are drawing down on natural capital. So this next slide really represents this, and I'll give you a few moments to read over this one. In essence, what these statements are saying is that natural capital has depreciated both globally and nationally within our farming systems. As over 80% of the land in Australia is managed by farmers, the impacts farmers can have when it comes to improving our land management practices to restore or reduce the drawdown on natural capital could be substantially significant. There's a gap around the evidence to prove how management practices are affecting natural capital. In WA, are we depleting it or restoring it based on how we manage the land? And how is this affecting our farm performance? So farming systems in our southwest ecoregion. I guess our southwest ecoregion is one of the 34 global biodiversity hotspots, the only one in Australia. And this ecoregion has a high level of endemism, which is species only found in these areas and are restricted in distribution. It also has natural diversity for plants, amphibians, and high levels of threat to this diversity. So we know that in 2014, 18 million hectares of Western Australia's native vegetation was already cleared, mostly in the state's southwest. So I'd imagine that there would be a lot more since then. Now, the remaining native vegetation in the southwest ecoregion, highlighted by the white areas in this map, is continually being impacted by mining, habitat fragmentation, loss of connectivity, overgrazing, weed invasion, altered hydrology, salinity, dieback diseases, feral animals, fire regimes, and climate change. In terms of our small landholders and natural capital, in WA, there are around 60,000 small landholders which steward the care of about 650,000 hectares in the southwest ecoregion. So why value the biodiversity on your property? I guess biodiversity can really promote ecosystem health, function integrity, and it really contributes to those ecosystem services as well. We know that all of nature is interconnected, and the lives of all animals and plants are connected in a circular pattern, i.e. as one creature is born, it feeds and depends on others, and when it dies, it nourishes and maintains others. Now, having a diverse range of species is an advantage, particularly when conditions change. For example, if an insect pest invades part of a pristine Brazilian tropical rainforest, it will meet an army of native birds, reptiles, small animals that will compete with it for space, feed on it, and keep it from spreading in an area. In contrast to this, a patch of urban bushland in Mundaring, in fair condition, with little native understory, diversity, pockets of fragmentation, weed infestations, may not harbour the higher order biodiversity or resilience needed to combat pests and diseases, and as such, the condition of this remnant may decline over time. So we are basically measuring on-farm natural capital to understand how does farm management practices really influence the value of natural capital on your farm, and how does the condition of this natural capital impact upon financial and environmental performance. So 2 years ago, we started stage 1 of the project, where we had 5 learning case studies of on farms across the southwest ecoregion, a mix of wheat belt and forest-based farms, which was really good because we captured quite a few learnings from that process. And last year we began our stage 2, where we enlisted 20 farmers across WA to really measure on-farm natural capital. So some of the aims of our natural capital accounting project is that it's really a new tool that will enable farmers to record and manage the natural capital on their farms. It will provide them with a standardised, verifiable and repeatable approach to measure the stocks and flows in natural capital over time, enabling the farmer to quantify the types and condition of the natural capital on their farm. It will help farmers to improve farm management on both production and environmental outcomes. And it really contributes to a larger data set of about 150 plus farms nationally that can be used to identify the relationships between natural capital and farm performance. So what we are doing at the moment with our 20 farms across WA is a suite of different assessments. We are doing, per property, we're doing an ecological assessment. We're collecting about 3 to 5 years worth of production data. We are doing soil sampling, 2 different types of soil tests, and also collecting PDL and produce sampling as well. And this will contribute to us developing a baseline framework for NCA for WA. So I've got a map here of a range of our NCA properties across WA in the southwest and wheatbelt region, and it really represents where our farming cohorts are. So we have about 3 vineyards, 2 in the Swan Valley and 1 in the Margaret River region, 5 cropping properties scattered throughout the wheatbelt, 3 cropping livestock properties, 4 livestock properties, 4 horticulture properties in the deep southwest, and 1 poultry property. So I really wanted to show you a few slides of the work that we do. And this one is part of our ecological assessments. The first slide is a place in the northeastern wheatbelt, primarily native grasses and native shrublands used for grazing that we did an assessment on. The middle one is a Melaleuca wetland that we found on a property too. So we assessed the condition of this. And another one is a tree lot. The next slides are pictures of our different soil sampling techniques. So we primarily drill about 3 different depths of soil to measure the chemical, do some chemical analysis of these. The middle one is a drop shatter test that we do. And the last one is a structure test on soil that we do. Here's a few pictures of some of the threatened species that we've opportunistically found on the properties. We've got a Banksia there, and the middle one is a significant tree, primarily used for black cockatoos. And we've got a Carter's freshwater mussel in the last photo as well. So thank you so much for your time. It was really good to chat to you about our project and what Natural Capital is all about in WA.